Today we're going to be going over the 3 common traits I notice in clients that want to lose fat, that have a large amount of fat to lose. And I promise you, these are going to shock you. They're not just the generic, oh, they overeat on processed foods. They have seed oils. Yeah, that's not what we're going to go over today. I've literally worked with thousands of clients, not exaggerating. And these are the 3 most common things I see. Yes, they're research backed, but this is quite literally what I see. And I'm starting to take notes on the common things I hear on onboarding calls when the clients are telling me on things they've tried, what they don't find success with, their schedules on a day-to-day basis. And I promise you, watching this, you're gonna be like, holy cow, that is literally me. Number 1, this is the kicker. The most shocking thing, I'm gonna start it off hot. Fasting, they all fast. Craziest thing. And it's not the generic fasting, I know, like where you have the time frames where you go 20 hours on, 4 hours off, or 20 hours fasting, 4 hours of eating window, things like that. No. They do their own form of fasting because they hear all the benefits of not eating food. So they wake up, they either have a small snack or have a coffee, something just very low calorie. They don't think it's a big deal. It's like a 60 calorie snack, 100 calorie snack. Then they go to work. At work, they have a very small meal. They don't prepare the meal so they don't overeat on food. So they have a lunch that's very small, or they'll fast through lunch. They get really busy at work, things pile up, they get really stressed. Now it's around 3 to 4 p.m. They're about to leave work or they're still at work. They start snacking a little bit, but they have a big meal. The thing is, if they miss this meal, they're gonna go home and have a gigantic meal. You might not be planning for it, but there's a lot of things going on. 1, you're stressed, you're overworked from the day, you're not prepared for food, so you're not preparing. Someone that doesn't prepare is preparing themselves for failure. It's a great quote, it's a real thing with your diet as well. So, what I hear very often is they are so tired from work, stress, all these things. They want something quick. They want something very fast, something that tastes good that they don't have to prepare because they are starving. They're hungry as crap because they're out of work. They're not thinking of the food before. Now they're thinking of food because the hunger creeped up on them. If you have small snacks before massive meals, it's going to substantially help you in your fat loss journey or just not get fatter because of the fact that you're not going in famished. Because when you're famished, you're naturally going to eat on more carb-dense food and more salty-dense foods. There's research to back this, but this also just happens. Just think about it. You want something that tastes good, you want something quick, and these things don't make you feel that full, and it's easier to overconsume on. And if you go to fast food, you don't know how to track the food, it's naturally just more calorically dense, making you feel less full. Or you get home and you want something really quick. You microwave something from the fridge, you microwave something from the freezer, and then again, you're not setting yourself up for success. So you're overeating on a ton of calories that are not making you feel full. They aren't very nutrient dense. So in the end, you didn't eat basically all day, yet you're eating more calories. So you're in a caloric surplus, putting fat on your body because you weren't eating throughout the day and you weren't preparing yourself properly. Having small snacks before massive meals are my biggest tips to implement. Start having a protein shake, having a protein bar, have a chicken breast, like have something small that is not super dense, just gives you a little bit of protein, fills you up a little bit, maybe have a fibrous source, have some beans, have some green beans, have some things like that, chickpeas, those are great. Try some frozen fruit, try some fruit in general, berries are incredible. And I'm not saying to demonize fasting. It's just they're not doing it correctly, and fasting could be the best thing on earth for one person and be the worst thing on earth for another. I'm not exaggerating it. I personally know the research of the side effects of intermittent fasting, but the side effects of being fat as shit and hating your body and being insecure in your body are substantially worse than the tiny side effects you feel from intermittent fasting. Helps me adhere to a caloric deficit, helps me adhere to my diet, and that's what is the most important thing. I have clients that do calorie banking. I have clients that do protein fasting. I have clients that do fasting. I have people that do Atkins diet. I have so many people that do so many different diets that works for them. Why would I implement a plan that they don't enjoy? So that's why I say some for the best, some for the worst. Next up, this one shouldn't be a shocker, but it is a massive shocker. They've done keto. They've done carnivore. They've done Atkins. They've done intermittent fasting. They've done fasting. They've done fad diets. That's the conclusion. And the thing is, when you're losing weight, you will 100% lose weight doing these things. 100%. Thing is, you will plateau. And when you plateau, you don't know why, because you don't know the mechanism of how to lose fat. You are just losing weight because you eliminated a full food group. The whole food group's gone, you're still not losing any weight after you plateaued. What the hell do? Eat less food? Feel more hungry? Is that your solution to the problem? No, you get really demotivated because you plateau, then you regain the weight back and you say, fuck it. I hated this diet. I hated all of this. I never want to do this again. And so you're in the worst situation ever because you just lost a bunch of weight and you regained it and now you have a worse relationship with food. And you're actually more fearful of that food group that you just eliminated. If you did keto, you think carbs make you fat. If you did carnivore, you think Carbs make you fat, and things like that. So you don't have a healthy relationship with food. You start blaming food groups when that's not the case. The only one that I've noticed that was interesting is Weight Watchers. I've gotten a lot of clients from Weight Watchers. And the thing with Weight Watchers I've noticed is it makes you really fear the scale. So I know the point system. I never did Weight Watchers myself, but after having so many clients, I got to hear about it quite extensively. And the thing with Weight Watchers is the principles are correct. They just don't teach you the mechanisms behind it. So you don't know how to sustain it long term. So the point system allows you to undereat on food and you'll lose weight. You're not losing pure fat and you're not really balancing your hormones or keeping muscle on, but it's a better thing, in my opinion at least, than carnivore and keto and things like that, because you're actually assigning value to certain things that are beneficial, like nutrient dense, like they'll have a fibrous food, you have lower points, which is good. You're kind of learning how to track calories, just a very unhealthy way, but you're understanding you have to track things in a certain way. I like the mechanism of tracking about Weight Watchers, but I've noticed people really fear the scale and they start fearing certain things. Like they're really good at under eating food, but they don't get a lot of nutrient dense foods when I work with them. That's what I've noticed at least. And last up, believe it before it happens. You have to, I don't want to say the word manifest because it has a negative connotation for some people and a really good connotation for others, but you have to believe it before it happens, because if you don't believe it can happen, you're going to give up before it even starts. If it gets really hard, if you truly believe you're gonna get that body, you're going to go through the hardship. I always hate when people say on the internet, oh, it's so easy to lose weight. Fuck, if it was so easy, we wouldn't have an obesity epidemic. It's not easy. It's simple, not easy. That is the quote that you should live by, not that it is easy. Because if you tell someone it's easy, the second it gets hard, they're going to give up because their expectation is, this is easy. I must be doing something wrong because this was supposed to be easy. You told me it is easy. That is false. It is not easy. It boils my blood when people say that. But I say this because if you're not believing in yourself, you're not gonna have the confidence to pursue your dream body, to do these things. You have to love yourself to get a body that you love. And you have to understand you're not broken. You're not missing this one thing. For example, I have abs year round. Decent abs at least. I don't know how it came up. I can't really see myself right now. This is how I look year round. And I promise you, there's not one magical thing you're missing right now. I promise you're not broken. You didn't break your metabolism. You're not in starvation mode. I've never heard of someone owning a dog that's overweight and said, oh, I know why they're fat. We underfeed them. It's not the case. It's not the case. You're not broken. You didn't break your metabolic rate. Even if you have a hypothyroid, if you have PCOS, if you have anything like that, I have worked with clients and it's still possible, even in that broken hormonal pattern. So understand, there's no this magical solution. There's a good plan of action. You should educate yourself first so you become your own coach so you can sustain the results. I always preach that. I want you to become your own client and I want you to sustain this. Not your own client, become your own coach so you can sustain the results. And if you fall off the wagon, you learn the tools so you can implement in your life so you never need a coach again. That is the whole point of fitness. You gain and lose the same 10 pounds because you look for the quick and easy result. I promise you, there is no quick and easy result. There are times that you're going to be hungry. It is just the sad truth, but it will neutralize. You will have an equilibrium. It is not suffering, but there's ways to mitigate the suffering. But I want you to understand it is not going to be easy. It is going to be simple. There's going to be a plan of action, but it's not easy. So these are the 3 traits. I don't know if that's going to help you, knowing things that people do wrong to help you in your journey. But if you're interested in losing fat and achieving your dream body, you can apply down below for my one-on-one coaching and see if we're a good fit. Please like and subscribe and let me know if you like these videos.